Well, here we are. We're at PMQs, and I was wrong. He's back again. I wonder how many he's going to be doing until he eventually leaves. Let's hear a little bit of what's going on here. Here we go.
Good luck, England. Can I welcome the government's commitment to introducing a social media ban for the under-16s, followed by repeated calls from our side of the House? Can the Minister outline what
I am definitely sure that I've seen that lady as an extra in Last of the Mohicans.
Bypassing it through the use of mechanisms such as VPNs, which themselves expose young people to additional risks.
The honourable gentleman makes an extremely important point, which is we know children will try and succeed in getting round the ban. Our measures are as much about resetting the cultural and social norms
Let's get
for
some more
future
volume
generations.
here.
But we will have more highly effective age verification measures to make this work, and we are looking at the issue in particular of VPNs, and I'll come back to the House with more on this very soon.
There you go.
Before we come to Prime Minister's questions, may I extend a warm welcome to the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Trinidad and Tobago and his delegation.
Yeah, that's just what we need, another
today.
import.
We now come to questions to the Prime Minister, Dr Al Pinkerton.
Here we go.
Question number one, Mr. Speaker.
Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our thoughts, I'm sure the thoughts of the whole House, are with the people of Venezuela. The scenes of destruction are simply harrowing. Mr. Speaker, we've committed humanitarian funding, deployed expert search and rescue teams, and I can announce today that we will match public donations up to £2 million on aid. Mr. Speaker, in an increasingly dangerous and volatile world, our defence investment plan commits more to investment on our armed forces. It delivers the modern kit and capabilities our personnel need to keep us safe, meaning we buy British to create jobs here at home and strengthen our international leadership. Mr. Speaker, Sunday marks
international
the 78th birthday
leadership
of the NHS, and I'm pleased that under this government waiting lists are down, A&E waits are shorter, and we have the shortest cancer diagnosis times on record.
What, for the illegals?
I also welcome the agreement reached with the resident doctors to end the strikes, so our full focus can be delivering further improvements for patients. Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings.
What's Lammy looking so resigned for? Look at him.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I associate myself with both the condolences and also birthday good wishes to the NHS? Everyone in my constituency of Surrey Heath wants a new Frimley Park
Change
hospital,
a guy.
but the chosen site, the last remaining fragment of the ancient Frimley Common, is wholly inappropriate. It's inaccessible, behind multiple schools, and environmentally devastating. But worse, over recent weeks, I've received deeply troubling evidence that the preferred relocation site was known and being openly discussed by local political figures in 2023 before the official site selection process had even begun. The entirely reasonable conclusion, Mr. Speaker, is that this project has been compromised from the outset and the site predetermined. I think the Prime Minister would agree that this is no way to begin a multi-billion-pound public procurement process. So would the Prime Minister please step in? Would the Prime Minister please step in, commission an urgent independent review?
I think the Prime Minister's got the question.
Well, Mr. Speaker, his NHS Trust has identified their preferred site for the new Frimley Park Hospital, and detailed technical work can now start. And let's be frank about this hospital. The Tories promised 40 new hospitals with no funding and no delivery
they keep on
plan,
harking
and we've
back.
had to fix
Yes,
that.
we know
His
they made a
hospital,
mess of
thanks
everything.
to Labour investment, is at the front of the queue. It will be one of the first in the country to be rebuilt. But his approach, Mr. Speaker, has been, on the one hand, to demand a new hospital and then oppose actually building it. He's urged his constituents to oppose it because, quote, this is his quote, if the hospital goes ahead, there will be no golf course. So, Labour building new hospitals, he's standing up for golf courses. I can't think of anything more Lib Dem.
Rachel Hopkins.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, he doesn't care now, does he? Because he's going, so it doesn't matter.
A good, safe and secure home is the foundation of everything, and access to a council home at social rent continues to be the biggest issue that my Luton South and South Bedfordshire constituents get in touch with me about.
Yeah.
But under this Labour government, in 24-25, councils delivered the highest annual number of social and affordable homes since 1991-92.
Well, all three of
So
them.
does the Prime Minister agree with me that we must build on this achievement and accelerate progress on council house building to ensure we deliver the biggest council housing programme since the post-war era?
Prime Minister.
Well,
Mr. Speaker,
5
I'm
would be
proud that
good.
This government is delivering the biggest boost to social and affordable housing in a generation. Backed by £39 billion, it means we're unleashing the biggest surge in council house building
10 million
in
a
over
house?
30 years. And that includes 1,000 new sociable and affordable homes in Luton and Bedfordshire.
Oh,
and our social housing bill will reform Right to Buy to deliver even more social houses. A Labour government delivering the homes that we need.
Leader of the Opposition, Kemi Bin.
All right, Kemi, let's have something. Come on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And can I associate myself and this side of the House with the Prime Minister's comments about Venezuela and also about the Lib Dems? Mr. Speaker.
Very good.
But seriously, Mr. Speaker, the Chief of Defence Staff made it known that the armed forces needed a minimum of £28 billion more to defend the country. Can the Prime Minister tell us why he thinks half that amount is enough?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very proud that this Labour government has delivered 2 major funding increases in just 2 years in government. The first, which was funded by overseas aid, took us to £270 billion over the spending review period. Mr. Speaker, that is a record. The Defence Investment Plan gives us capability we need for the future. That sets a new record, Mr.
believe
Speaker,
a word
of
this man
£300
says?
billion over the next 4 years. That will be invested in drones and autonomous weapons, the largest ever investment, strengthening the UK's nuclear capability, upgrading our naval bases in the most significant way for 45 years, and confirming our commitment to the next generation of fighter jets. That is what is needed to keep our country safe.
Mr. Speaker, he didn't say that it was enough, and that was a very long list of things that he's not yet paying for. It is not right and it is not fair, certainly not to our troops who put their lives on the line for all of us every single day. 3 weeks ago, Mr. Speaker, 3 weeks ago, the Defence Secretary resigned, saying, "I am being forced to make decisions that would increase the risk to personnel on operations and could make the country less safe." Since that letter, the Prime Minister has only increased spending by 0.01%.
There you go.
We can count, the generals can count, the Kremlin can count. His plan doesn't add up.
That's right.
How can the Prime Minister possibly stand there and say that this is enough?
Because he knows how to bullshit,
Mr. Speaker,
that's why.
This is the most significant upgrade in defence spending since the 1980s. The Chief of Defence Staff has been clear that the plan accelerates the transformation we need for our armed forces. The First Sea Lord, it funds the capability we need to fight and win. The Chief Air Staff strengthens our contribution to NATO, and she must have missed
Even
that
the guy
yesterday,
who's given the
Secretary-General
death
of NATO
signs looks
welcomed the plan.
surprised.
All people who know what's in the plan and welcome it. Contrast that, Mr. Speaker, with their record in government, because they hollowed out the armed forces. Their record is cutting defence spending. My record is raising it to £300 billion and rising. Their record is cutting frigates by a quarter.
You haven't paid for that
mine
yet.
hunters by a half, and leaving 47 of 49 defence programmes delayed or over budget. My record is the biggest boost to defence investment since the 1980s. Their record is missing army recruitment targets every year for 14 years. We've given our armed force the biggest pay rise for 20 years and increased defence funding by £15 billion a year. That's a record I'm proud to stand on.
Mr. Speaker, the Chief of Defence Staff is an honourable man, and what he and the NATO Secretary-General have done is welcome the fact that a plan has been published. Just that it's been published. They've been waiting for over a year. Strategic Defence Review was last year. He is an honourable man, Mr. Speaker, who is having to make do with very little. The threat level has dramatically changed in the 2 years that the Prime Minister has been in office. Poland, since the Prime Minister took office, Poland has increased their funding to 4.8%. Germany has increased theirs to 3.7%. This year, Russia will spend 10% of GDP on defence. Meanwhile, Britain is spending it all on welfare.
Yeah.
Even the limited plan that he has announced has completely unravelled because he hasn't found the money to pay for it. It is £5 billion short. We all know that he is leaving this mess to his successor. So can he confirm
Burnham's going to get all the headaches.
Makerfield has agreed to fund the shortfall?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what they did was to cut defence spending. When they came into power, defence spending was 2.5%. What did they do? They cut it to 2.3%, a cut. But on welfare, what did they do? They put it up by £88 billion. So we'll take no lectures from them.
Yeah, we'll take no lectures from anybody. Oh.
This is
I wish
£15
Stats was here.
billion of new investment for defence, delivered outside of a budget, outside of a spending review. Mr. Speaker, that's about £1 billion a year over 4 years. Because of the decisions at the last budget, we've got headroom of £22 billion. That is precisely so we can take decisions like this.
What?
We delivered it
When you
outside
first
of budget,
said there was a
outside of spending
£22
review.
billion
Just like we did with
black
special
hole.
educational needs, outside of budget, outside of spending review. Just like the previous government did, Mr. Speaker, when they announced their 5-year NHS plan in 2018, outside of budget, outside of spending review. And what did they say when they were challenged about it, Mr. Speaker? I'll quote. We will be able to explain exactly where every penny is coming from, but we will do that in the budget. That was the former Health Secretary, then the Chancellor. When they published their integrated defence review in 2020, what did they do? They set out the funding at the next spending review. So let's drop the faux outrage, focus on what matters, the biggest sustained increase for 40 years, the biggest increase for 45 years, providing what is needed to keep the country safe.
Oh, yeah, we love you, Keir.
Speaker,
We love you.
He says that he's delivering this outside the budget. That's right. It should have been in the last budget. The Strategic Defence Review was published last year. It should have been in the last budget, not the next budget. The intelligence assessment that he himself has said we have says there could be an attack on NATO by 2030. But this plan doesn't deliver until after that. £5 billion is missing from his plan. It also relies on £11 billion of unidentified savings. The plan has unravelled. It is a total dereliction of duty, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. The Times newspaper said today the Prime Minister's legacy... well, why don't we wait and see what they said? That the Prime Minister's legacy is betrayal, failure and vulnerability.
There you
and
go.
That's one of the
That's
nicer
the truth.
headlines. So I will ask again, because he didn't answer the question, Mr. Speaker. Did the member for Makerfield know that he was going to have to find £5 billion for the Prime Minister's plan?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, when I became Prime Minister 2 years ago, this country spent £54 billion a year on defence. Because of the decisions we've taken, that will rise to £80 billion a year by 2029. That is a real terms increase of 27%, transforming our armed forces.
Okay.
And we're not going to take any lectures from the party opposite. They
No
cut
lectures.
defence spending. They
Answer
hollowed
the
out
question.
The armed forces. That's what their defence secretary admitted. That's what they did. They don't like it. They won't defend their record, Mr. Speaker, because they can't. They won't apologise for it, because they have to admit what we all know, it's a total failure. They just try to pretend the 14 years they were in power never really happened. We're in power, we're recording investment in defence and security. I'm proud of this Labour government, and any Labour Prime Minister
Why are they
would
getting
stand
rid of
behind
you
this
if you're
plan.
so proud?
It doesn't sound like he's told the member for Makerfield to find £5 billion. He says any Labour Prime Minister would stand behind this plan. Let me tell him what Lord Richard Dannett, the former head of the Army, said yesterday. He said the Prime Minister had chosen the cheap option and called the plan woefully inadequate. Let me tell him what General Sir Richard Barrons, one of the authors of his own Strategic Defence Review, said yesterday. We are simply not going to be ready to defend this country properly. That's what they're saying. The reason that he is
And we're bringing the enemy in.
because he was too weak to cut welfare when he had the chance. There are only 3 ways, Mr. Speaker, to find the missing £5 billion. Increase borrowing, increase taxes, or cut welfare. Which one will he recommend to the member for Makerfield?
Mr. Speaker, we're talking about £1 million a year over 4 years. The decisions at the last budget gave us more than £22 billion in headroom, so we can take the decisions that they don't understand this because they trashed the old. We built a headroom of £22 billion. The very reason for the headroom is to have the credibility to take decisions outside the budget and outside the spending review.
Looks very tired,
they don't
actually.
understand it because they lost control of the public finances. In addition to more on defence and security, we've taken control of the public finances. That's why you have headroom to take credible decisions like this. £1 billion a year over 4 years, headroom of £22 billion because of the decisions we took at the last budget, which allow us to take these decisions.
Mr. Speaker, we understand it perfectly, and that's why, yes we do, that's why he is leaving and so is his Chancellor. They're laughing and pretending, but if he was doing such a fabulous job, why did he resign?
It's exactly what I just said earlier,
Mr. Speaker,
Kemi.
defence of the realm is the first duty of government. Yes, it is the first duty of government. I don't need to read again what General Sir Richard Barron's or Lord Richard Dannett said. Maybe they didn't hear it the first time. They can re-watch the clips.
They ignored it.
Defence of the realm, Mr. Speaker, is the first duty of government. Britain is facing a moment of danger unlike anything in our lifetimes, unlike anything that we saw even in government. We need a plan to fund our armed forces that meets this moment. They are the government for now, not for 10 years
We're not ready.
ago. And the fact is, Labour's
She's telling
plan
the truth there.
is too weak, it is too little, and it is too late. If his successor doesn't want to be complicit in this failure, he should come out and condemn this plan. The money must be found, Mr. Speaker, and that money should come from cutting welfare, something these Labour MPs will not do. And if the Labour Party cannot defend our country, Mr. Speaker, what is the point of them?
It's just all talk. What did they actually do? They cut defence 2.5% down to 2.3% in their 14 long years. And what did they do on welfare? They put the bill up by £88 billion. So no lectures from them. They failed in the first duty of government. And
so nobody likes lectures in the Houses of Parliament.
Because they know that never do they stand here and defend their record, because they can't. 14 years of failure.
What's that guy said? We need a comedian doing all the deaf and dumb signs here. Just take the Michael out of these people.
So they just sit there pretending it didn't happen. Well, it did happen. You hollowed out the armed forces. We're correcting you. And I tell you what else, when we came into power, public services were on their knees. Today, we've seen the fastest fall in NHS waiting list for 17 years. When I became Prime Minister, we inherited a broken economy. Today, we're outperforming the other G7 economies.
We're not!
When I became Prime Minister, our international
what a
alliances have been
lie!
shredded. Now other countries are looking to us to lead on defence and security.
Nobody's looking
to a
to us.
and fairer country. Britain in a
Somebody
better
go
state
out
than
and
we found
look
it.
and
That's
see
the
where we
difference a
are
Labour
in the
government
league
makes.
table. I think Norway are ahead of us in terms of defence.
Two of my constituents, Cody and Liam Townend, and another mum from Leeds, Zoe Ward, all lost babies in different tragic circumstances. But they all went to the same funeral director who did not treat their babies' bodies with the dignity, care or respect that they deserved.
That's a serious one, this one.
I will not repeat the shocking details here. The BBC, for their part, published what they could last year. But more shockingly still, the police found nothing actionable in either case because there is no regulation of the funeral industry, and the individual in question is still operating in Leeds today. Given that the Department of Health and Social Care are due to make a decision about changing the law in this area, possibly before he leaves office, will the Prime Minister speak with ministers and officials in that department to ensure that when they consider the question of whether to regulate the funeral industry, their answer is yes?
Can I thank him for raising this case and thank him? He's been a committed campaigner on this. I have seen the details of the particular case. He's right not to repeat them in this chamber. They are horrifying.
Yeah.
The lack of dignity and
just like the grooming gangs
is unacceptable, and I simply can't imagine the pain that Cody, Liam and Zoe experienced and are still experiencing. The status quo here is not working for families, and people deserve to know that their loved ones are treated with dignity and compassion. We are going to consider this closely, and I thank him for raising it. I do want stronger standards and oversight. I think that's absolutely needed, particularly in light of appalling cases like this.
Sir Ed Davey, Leader of the Liberal Democrats.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I not associate myself with the Prime Minister's comments about my party? But can I associate myself with all his remarks about the earthquake and humanitarian catastrophe in Venezuela? And can I commend the Scottish team and the Scottish fans on the joy they brought to the World Cup? They did the whole of Scotland proud. And can I wish England well against DR Congo later today? But with Rhys James and Gerald Quansah in doubt, I know the Prime Minister isn't the only one struggling for a solid defence plan. Mr. Speaker, the wars in Ukraine and Iran show us how seriously we must take the threat of missiles and drones hitting our country. Our national security requires the best possible missile defence system, including Royal Navy destroyers. But the funding in his plan for this falls dangerously short. Yet the Prime Minister has rejected our proposals for defence bonds, which were used in the past to rearm our country. So can the Prime Minister tell us why has he chosen to leave our country so vulnerable to missiles?
Well, I can see a lot of people on welfare buying defence bonds, can't you?
His comments about the Scotland team, the Scotland fans, and wish England well. I'm not sure about his gag. He was getting a bit better the other week, but he's gone back down. I'm afraid that one is a red card. But, Mr. Speaker, our defence investment plan gives our country what we need to fight now and into the future, the capability that's been assessed through the strategic review. Bonds, which we looked at very closely, are simply borrowing by another name, and we are already borrowing in a way which requires us to spend £1 in every 10 on servicing the interest on that. And I would gently point out, before he carries on with any criticism of our plan, that he sat in a cabinet that cut defence spending by 22%.
Sir Ed Davey.
The Prime Minister knows that our defence bonds are within his own fiscal rules, that he's had advice from his own team that he should adopt them, and I hope the Right Honourable Member for Makerfield will listen. But, Mr. Speaker, I have another concern that I think the Prime Minister will share. The rising tide of racist violence and hate that we're seeing in our country.
Yeah.
And the way it's being incited and normalised, including, I'm afraid, by some members of this House.
Oh, get lost.
I was talking to a British friend of Indian ancestry
who
told me how reform activists came to her door and said that if they get into power, she and her family will have their passports seized and their citizenship revoked. Does the Prime Minister agree that racism has no place in our country? And will he join me in condemning anyone who is stoking it?
Oh, looking back there. Who the hell is he talking to?
This is really important because our politics is becoming more diverse and racism and intolerance is permeating everywhere. And
no, it
isn't.
isn't.
To deal with it.
No, it isn't.
Because it's tearing our societies apart.
No, it
isn't.
isn't.
Good people away from politics.
It's your policies that are tearing this society apart.
And it should be called out by every single person.
Go on,
Specs. Any level in
get lost.
Mr. Speaker, I say this looking at the plaque to Joe Cox, and of course we've got David Amos behind me too. We had a Joe Cox 10-year reminder that it was 10 years ago, just a week or so ago, that we lost Joe. And I had a reception in Downing Street with her parents and other close friends.
Show the empathy now.
We read out the words of Joe again. The very sad thing is, I was not able to say that in the 10 years since Joe's death, things have got better.
Well,
sadly, they've got worse. That's on us
to
fix. All of us.
Let's bring up the name of Henry Novak.
Member of this House, whatever their party.
How about that one,
Anybody who
Specs?
claims it should be absolutely ashamed of themselves.
Oh, yes, of course.
Mr. Speaker, can I associate myself with the comments of the Prime Minister about the legacy of Joe Cox? I know all of us in this place have been following the contest for number 10 quite closely in recent weeks, but amid the North versus South debate, I think it's about time we had someone from the Midlands who was ready to step into this important position for our country. So I'm delighted to say we have two fantastic Black Country lads, Jude Bellingham from Stourbridge and Morgan Rogers from Halesowen, who have both been doing us proud in the contested England number 10 role against our game for Congo this evening. So does the Prime Minister agree with me that we should congratulate England on their progress out of the group stage so far? And does he also agree with me that we need to do more to support
Prime Minister?
Well, I thought the next few weeks were about to get quite interesting, Mr. Speaker, but can I... Look, we do all wish England the best of luck this evening, and every time those players step on the pitch, they represent the talent, ambition and diversity of this country. We're proud to be supporting the next generation, investing £400 million into grassroots facilities and over £1 billion in school sports. And if Thomas Tuchel needs any advice on penalties, he should ask David Seaman, who slotted one past him just a few weeks ago.
Dave Dugan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am gravely concerned. I am gravely concerned that time after time, this Prime Minister, in response to the abject and honest criticism of his defence investment plan, he cites recent trends in defence spending when he should be calibrating it against the chronic and very real threat that the people on these islands face. In his limited time left in number 10, will he get a grip of his paper-thin plan?
Prime Minister.
This is the party that thinks we should give up the nuclear deterrent. And he stands there to talk about defence. So we need no more advice and sanctimonious nonsense from the NSP. Before he or any of them give any more advice to me or this House, let's have some home truths. Their chief executive has just been jailed for 5 years for embezzlement. They're all pretending they didn't know anything about it. They couldn't even see the motorhome parked in the driveway, apparently. And
Kettle
now
calling the pot black.
Into the Scottish Parliament. Before they offer any more advice, they should look in the mirror.
There's another question, Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In this increasingly dangerous world, the space domain is critical. So I welcome the £3.2 billion set out for space in the Defence Investment Plan. The plan refers to Skynet 6A, the first military satellite to be designed, manufactured and tested completely in the UK, beginning at Airbus in my constituency of Stevenage and supporting 3,000 jobs across the country. So, does the Prime Minister agree that we must develop both the UK's sovereign capability in space and the British jobs that already power it?
Prime Minister.
Can I thank him? And our commitment to space in the Defence Investment Plan reflects how we're preparing our armed forces for the conflicts of the future. And when I see apprentices working in our defence industries, I see this investment creating the more opportunities, including those in many of our constituencies, including his. It underlines exactly what our investment delivers, Mr. Speaker. That's 60,000 new jobs, investing in British skills, promoting our brilliant industries abroad and driving growth in the UK.
Mr. Speaker, on Monday with colleagues I wrote to the Health Minister following the news that women's health and maternity services may be relocated away from St Helier Hospital due to building safety concerns. Yesterday we heard Baroness Amos's review state that poorly maintained buildings affect how safe people feel, how effectively staff can work, and whether care can be delivered in a way that is private, respectful and reliable. It has been reported today that DHSC's capital budget will be cut by more than £500 million over this Parliament to fund the DIP, which puts the new hospital programme timeline in doubt. So, will the Prime Minister arrange for the Health Secretary to visit St Helier Hospital with me to see its condition and hopefully agree to bring forward the build of the new Sutton Setch, build it today, not in 2034, to ensure safe and modern healthcare and maternity facilities for my constituents?
Prime Minister.
Well, in relation to his hospital, he knows that those decisions are taken at a local level based on expert advice. We are committed to prioritising women's health as we reform the NHS, including through our women's health strategy. In his area alone, we're investing £57 million to transform care. That's money that we provided at the budget. He actually voted against it, along with the rest of the Lib Dems at the budget. So they can't, on the one hand, complain about the lack of investment.
Oh, I'm sure you knew about that before coming in. Or did somebody research it for you, Keir?
Michelle Welsh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Donna Ockenden review and the Baroness Amos review has exposed some very uncomfortable truths. That justice is not brought about by a system, a law, a protocol, a regulatory authority or NHS England, but by bereaved and harmed families, having to speak up over and over again about the most horrific and traumatic experience of their lives just to be heard. So does the Prime Minister agree with me that the system is not only failing, but it is cruel? And if we are to restore public trust, then we must finally introduce Hillsborough law in full.
It's called accountability.
The justice and accountability they need and deserve.
Can I thank her for raising this? Baroness Amos's findings show a deeply disturbing picture, deep fragmentation and an overly complex system. Women and families not being listened to, no proper accountability, and discrimination is driving inequalities in treatment and outcome. We will deliver the change that is needed. We will look at the urgent recommendations and deliver those of Baroness Amos as well as those of Donna Ockenden. And can I thank her for leading from the front as the first maternity advisor, working with families and the NHS to deliver safer, better care for every mother and baby. And can I say that I know her son Billy would be very proud of her.
Sir Desmond Swain.
Oh, come on, Desi.
Mr. Speaker, through omission or insufficient advice, injured veterans may fail to place their compensation in a trust within the 1 year allowed by universal credit. Can discretion be had in compassionate cases?
Prime Minister.
Well, I thank the right honourable gentleman. I'm enjoying our weekly exchanges.
Not going to last much longer.
Served in our country, and I thank him for raising this because it is a really important point, should be looked after and better able to access any compensation they're entitled to. We have dedicated pathways for veterans in every job centre to provide support with benefit claims and complex cases. But I can assure him and reassure him that anyone coming forward will get tailored support and we'll seek to resolve any issues swiftly and fairly to see whether we can improve on that. If he's got any specific cases, or other members have, if he could pass, or others pass the details to us, we will look at them. I noticed the BBC reported his question last week, him saying it would almost certainly be his last to me as Prime Minister. A reminder, you shouldn't always believe everything you read in the news.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody should believe anything that comes out of the BBC.
West.
Mr. Speaker, could I thank the Prime Minister for his calm and authoritative leadership in international affairs? And
he's now a statesman.
Could I also thank the UK missions abroad who have enormous respect for him? And could I also ask him to put on record his thanks to the security, diplomatic and international aid workforce who work day and night on behalf of the UK abroad? And closer to home, Mr. Speaker, could I also, as a fellow North Londoner, say, despite the heat waves, North London forever, regardless of the weather.
Prime Minister.
Well,
right, okay.
I thank. She's someone who always speaks her mind.
Cheshire forever.
And I join her in thanking our people. I'm proud that during my tenure we've delivered 5 major trade deals. We've led the coalition of the willing to support Ukraine and strengthened the NATO alliance, built stronger partnerships with the EU and kept us out of the war in Iran. And can I thank her for her contribution that she made as Foreign Office Minister.
Joshua Reynolds.
Speaker. Yesterday, the Prime Minister visited Maidenhead to announce his new defence investment plan. However, as we now know, he's leading it to his successor to decide how to fund the majority of it. We cannot fund our armed forces without growth, and we cannot get growth in Britain without the...
Oh, is somebody coming in through the back door?
...having be dismantled.
What is
as
it?
well
Who
as
is it?
trading closer with our closest neighbours. So will the Prime Minister agree that a new growth and defence partnership with Europe is how we can properly fund our forces, and will he urge his successor to drop Labour's red lines to get it done?
Prime Minister. Well, he obviously didn't pay so much attention as he should to what I was saying yesterday in terms of the plan, the capability, the record investment that we're putting in and how we're funding it. I do agree we need to work more closely with the EU on defence and security as well as trade and the economy. That's precisely what we agreed at the EU-UK summit last year, and we've been building on that. And I'm proud to say in the last 2 years, the relationship between the UK and the EU has been transformed into a much better, trusted relationship. It is very important as Prime Minister
Is anybody
that I
fed
leave
up
the
with
country
this
in better
guy
state
yet?
than I found it, and I do.
Sarah Russell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Dr. Carly Mellor, an NHS dentist in my constituency, spoke to me recently, and I quote, "Ministers pledged to fix the failed contract we worked to within this Parliament. The government has begun discussions on a new contract and promised a public consultation on it this summer. A typical dentist delivering NHS care does so at a loss. With every passing month, more practices are reconsidering their future in the NHS, while millions of patients continue to struggle to access
extra
care.
from Last of the Mohicans back on. I didn't notice that. There you go.
My constituents. Can we start the consultation without delay?
Prime Minister. Can I thank her for raising this? I'm pleased that we've delivered over 1.8 million additional courses of NHS treatment, because no one needing urgent care should be left in pain and waiting for help. Mr. Speaker, we've already made early reforms, including embedding urgent care into the contract so people get fast access to NHS care, and delivering the first sustained expansion of dental school places in nearly 20 years to get extra dentists trained. We will consult on a reformed dental contract soon, and I'll make sure that ministers update my honourable friend.
Lee Anderson.
Come on, Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Say
in
something.
Ashfield, 4 workers, including 2 nurses, were kicked out of their HMO, and Serco put 4 illegal migrants in this HMO. One of these illegal migrants was a Pakistani national. He went on to rape a young girl, a vulnerable young girl, on a park in Ashfield. He's now doing 14 years in prison. This was a monster allowed into this country by this awful government. But if a Prime Minister is really serious about protecting young women and girls, does he agree with me and Reform UK that every single illegal migrant coming to this country should be detained, not allowed to claim asylum, and then deported?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very proud of the fact that after net migration reached almost 1 million under the party opposite, we brought it down by 82%. On the asylum system, which he references, now asylum decisions are made at record levels, the backlog is down, removals are up 41%, and we're closing asylum hotels. They lost control of our borders. Now small boat crossings are coming down, and we deported 70,000 people with no right to be here. He likes to ask questions. He should be asking some questions of the leader of his party sitting next to him.
5 million.
He received £5 million in crypto from a
You can just
crypto
predict
billionaire,
what this guy is going to do.
And lobbied the Bank of England on digital currencies. So did their leader carry out lobbying paid? Why did he keep his £5 million gift secret? And are they happy with their leader earning £20,000 an hour flogging gold bullion? They need to ask the questions across their benches, but they never do.
Well, what's that got to do with the question?
Speaker, too many people are waiting too long for NHS mental health care, with over 6,000 adults waiting up to 2 years.
Yeah.
In Sunderland, grassroots organisations like the wonderful Betsy Jenny Cafe are providing support to our community, but they cannot substitute for timely NHS-funded care. So as the government consults on its new mental health strategy, will the Prime Minister agree with me that it must include clear waiting time standards?
Prime Minister.
Well, I thank him, and we're determined to transform mental health so everyone gets the support they need. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to say that we've recruited 8,700 extra mental health workers. We've opened the first of
Everybody
6
should
24/7 neighbourhood mental health
check
centres.
what comes out of this guy's mouth.
800,000 more children, young people, have access to a mental health support team in their school or college. There is more to be done, but this is a real step forward.
Always.
Cole Lockhart.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last week in Northern Ireland, a former member of this House was convicted for the most horrific child sexual abuse against 2 girls. I want to commend the victims for their extraordinary bravery in coming forward. It was their courage secured a conviction, and I have no doubt that their resolve will help others find their voice. No matter an abuser's power or status, there can be no hiding place for someone who would take the safety or would steal the innocence of young children.
Referring to
Mr.
Jeffrey
Speaker,
Donaldson.
Thousands of vulnerable young women in Rotherham, Oldham and across the UK were subjected to
Indeed.
organised child sexual abuse and exploitation. In many cases, it was Pakistani heritage grooming gangs responsible, while institutions looked the other way. Before leaving office, the Prime Minister has the ability and opportunity to leave a legacy. Will he ensure that the promised statutory rape gang inquiry is delivered so the truth can finally be told, and that those responsible are held to account, and that no child's safety is ever sacrificed ever again
Well said.
for racial sensitivities?
Ratio. Great
Can I
question.
thank her for raising the case in Belfast that concluded last week, and, like her, salute the courage of the victims to come forward. It must have taken extraordinary courage. It does in every single one of these cases, but particularly when you've got powerful people and institutions.
Okay, now get
it
on
takes
to the other
even more
part of what she
courage,
said
to do so.
about the
And
girls
so,
in this country.
We salute them for their own acts, but also because it will, I hope, have helped others to see that if you do come forward, you will be believed and justice can be done, notwithstanding the difficulties.
Why is it taking
On
so long
grooming,
then?
We have set up the inquiry, and it's very important it goes wherever the evidence should take it, and that's an absolute guiding principle of the inquiry.
Listen to Rupert
Final
Lowe.
question, Alex Davis-Jones.
Mr. Speaker, this afternoon we are joined in the gallery by Lisa Phillips, a British survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's horrific and despicable trafficking and abuse. Lisa's bravery is to be commended, and her determination for justice and accountability on behalf of all UK survivors should be put on record. And I want to place on record my thanks to you, Mr. Speaker, for meeting with Lisa this week. Your solidarity means more than you will ever know. So in that vein, will the Prime Minister please commit to meet with Lisa and the other British survivors and commit to what is needed? A full public inquiry so we can have the truth,
Well done.
justice and accountability.
Well done.
Prime Minister.
Can I thank you for raising this really important issue and drawing it to the House's attention?
Is he looking for the
I'm
exit?
glad that we're joined in the gallery today. It is really important that we keep our focus on violence against women and girls, and I'll make sure the meeting she requested are set up.
That completes Prime Minister's questions. Let the front bench change over.
Well, there we go. That's it. That's Prime Minister's questions. What an absolute joke. I'm telling you, nothing. It's a pantomime. It's a pantomime. That is politics in the UK. Thanks very much for people that are going to be watching this. And bye-bye. We'll see you later on. Indeed. Let's get this finished.